What's up guys? Welcome back to this month's subscription box. We've got a good one for you this month. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so this month I wanted to include the welcome package that the new subscribers get, just to give you guys an idea, if you're new to the subscription box, what you can expect. So here's the subscription box. This is what you'll get on a month-to-month basis. Here is the welcome package. So first you're going to get a t-shirt. This is the design we're doing right now. It's that Patrick Adair Supplies S. Pretty minimalist, not too crazy. You're going to get a free expanding ring mandrel. It's going to be in bubble wrap, all ready, brand new, ready to go for you, in whatever size you pick. This is a medium one. This will handle a large variety of size ranges. And then a free bottle of CA adhesive to get you started. This should be super helpful in getting you started on your ring journey. But let's set that aside. This is what you're going to get month to month. So let's go ahead and get this opened. And we pack this thing full. This month, this is a first. We're sending you enough to do 2 rings. And I know that's kind of like more over-promising or whatever, but we really wanted to do it. So it's Halloween. We thought it'd be cool to do kind of like a spooky ghost kind of theme one, and then a black and orange Halloween themed one. And again, you guys do not have to follow our instructions to a T. You can do whatever color combinations you want. But first, let's start off. I'm not going to make this one in today's tutorial, but here's what we had in mind. This is a black carbon fiber blank, and then we've got neon orange glow powder. This will look great, and it's a really good, nice bright orange daytime color, as well as that nice bright orange glow that it has. And then just some real fragments of obsidian. Great material. So that is the kind of the freebie for this month, a whole other project in and of itself. But here's kind of the main design that we had in mind. So first, you're gonna have a white ceramic ring blank. This is a really unique material. You hardly ever see jewelry that's white like this. So it's a really kind of cool, unique, interesting material to work with. And ceramic in general, I love working with it. It's pretty user-friendly. Just have to do a few things to avoid cracking it, because it can be a little bit fragile. But we're going to be inlaying. I know you guys love opal. This is our pearl white opal. Such an awesome look that it has to it. It just has all those kind of cool colors that it fluoresces. It's iridescent, so love that effect. And we're gonna be keeping it simple. We didn't include any pigments this month. If you've got pigments from previous months, or if you've just ordered from the website, feel free to use any of those in any of the ring designs you do, obviously. But we just included, this is white glow powder. So we're doing the triple white theme this month. You got the white ceramic ring blank with the white pearl white opal, and then white glow powder that's white during the day. So this will look really nice, really clean, just kind of have that awesome, just kind of ghost effect that we're going for. And then just a freebie, we always send extra mixing vials. This month we don't have any things to mix because we don't have any pigment. But what I like to do is, you see you've got this big full vial of glow powder. You don't want to knock that over and dump it all out. So I like to portion out a little bit. This right here, that should be more than enough for the ring we're making today. So if I knock that over, that spills, that's not really a big issue. So I still have probably 5/6 of it left right here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take all the extras. If you guys make rings out of your extra ones, please tag us in a post. Today I'm not gonna bother doing that, just so we can keep the video length reasonable. I sometimes make these videos way too long, and I realize that. So trying to keep those down. All we're gonna be doing is these 3 materials. This should be honestly one of the easiest to make rings that we've ever had in the subscription box. So not too much to go over. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get out my expanding ring mandrel. Because I'm working with ceramic, you can crack it when you're tightening it. So what you wanna do is you wanna coat your mandrel in 1 to 2 layers of electric tape. That gives it some cushion and padding, so it's not going to crack on you at all. So let's go ahead and go over to the lathe and let's get started on it. All right, this is a size 11.5 ring, so I've got my large expanding ring mandrel out. I checked which step it fits on, and then I'm just going to put, I'll just do 1 layer of electric tape this time here. Go ahead and put that on. It should be nice and snug. I'll check that it's nice and centered. Perfect. Now I'll just go ahead and tighten it just so it won't spin. I don't want it to be too tight. Again, you want to be careful not to crack the ceramic. It's pretty hard to do, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. And there we go. That should hold in place really nicely for me. Now let's go ahead and because of the the simplicity of the design of this ring. We don't have a lot of prep or anything else to do, so I'm just gonna get out my medium viscosity CA here, and I'll just go ahead and I'll lay a bead down, and then we'll start inlaying some of our pearl white opal. All right, for the inlaying, that was very straightforward. Usually when I'm doing a ring, I'm really concerned about the color palette. There's usually more than one inlay material. There's a lot of variables going on, so you have to be pretty specific about how exactly you want to inlay your inlay materials, depending on the effect you want. But for this, all I want to do is I want to jam pack this inlay full with as much opal as I can fit, and then just fill in the cracks with glow powder. So it's super simple. All you guys saw me do is I just dumped the opal straight into the inlay and caught the excess with my hand. Makes it really easy. But now what I need to do is I need to go through and get any really large chunks or any chunks that are poking out above the inlay just too much. Like, let's see. Here's a good example. This one's just not anchored in there very well. We're gonna pull that out. If there's an empty spot, maybe I'll wedge it in there. There we go. Just a little dab of glue will hold it in place. But yeah, not super methodical about this inlay at least. It's just kind of pack it full. If you want to do less, of course, you're welcome to do so. There's a little kind of missing patch here, so I'm gonna go ahead and find some smaller pieces and then just individually drop those down in place. That should look perfect. All right, and then from here, all I need to do is I just need to pack in glow powder. I don't want to do this all in one layer. You'll end up getting some dry glow powder underneath your layers of glue, and you might have, as you sand down through it, you'll hit a dry patch, and that'll kind of go flying everywhere, and you'll have a hole in your ring. So you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a little bit of glue residue in there. I'll get my white glow powder out. You can see that here. You guys will remember I portioned out just a little bit earlier. If I could get this to focus. There we go. Just got a little bit in here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pack that into this inlay. I'm just going to do one light layer, and then I'm going to add another layer of glue, and then I'm going to repeat. I'll probably do 3 or 4 layers. That way the inlay is very strong and secure, and we're not going to have dry spots that'll break out on us. All right, now I've got the inlay in place. Everything should be good to go. I've made sure that the glow powder is always at the very least above the edges of the ceramic. You don't want to have any pockets dip below there. So now you'll notice the outside looks kind of dry. It's a good idea at this point if you've got the ultra thin, super thin CA adhesive. This is super effective at getting in all the little cracks and pores. It actually uses capillary action, just like tree wood in nature, to get into all the spots. So you'll see I'll just dab a little dot and it spreads like crazy. So that's super effective at going in and getting CA around all of our strontium illuminate glow powder. That'll make sure we don't have any dry spots come flying out on us. So this should really help stabilize the whole thing. All right, there we go. I've gone all the way around the inlay. Now it's time to break out the CA activator or accelerator or whatever you want to call it. And I'll just give this a quick spray. And then I'll want to wait 5 or 10 minutes to let this fully cure all the way through. So I'll just give it a quick spray. Don't need too much. And that'll begin to activate the CA. Slowly it'll cure all the way through. And we'll come back and we'll start grinding this thing down. All right, everything should be nice and cured. I can touch it. Nothing is squishy, nothing is sticky. Should be ready to go. I've got my Dremel all prepared. You can see I've got my really coarse bit on here already. I'm going to put my lathe in reverse so that they can spin against each other rather than with each other. And we'll go ahead and I'll get this thing, I want to get it flush with the ceramic. So once I get close, I'm going to be a little bit more gentle. The ceramic can handle a lot of abuse before it'll scratch, but you never want to go too hard on it. So I'm going to go really aggressive right at first, get rid of all the high spots, start evening it out. But once I get closer to the edges of the ceramic, that's when I'll be a little bit more gentle. And we just barely want to get it flush, and then we'll switch over to our sandpapers, and that's when we'll start the sanding and polishing steps. All right, I've got everything flush and I'm not noticing any gaps, holes, or pits. I was pretty careful about my inlay process, and when you're careful, it makes the whole ring process go a lot smoother. But if you do have any little gaps or holes you need to fill at this point, what I would recommend is using super thin CA, especially if it's just some small minor ones. You can turn the lathe on and you can just run a small little bead all the way around the whole circumference of the ring. That should fill in any little minor imperfections. If you've got something bigger, you'll probably have to get the glow powder back out, use it to fill in that hole, and then glue over that. And super thin would be helpful in that scenario as well because it can absorb down in there. But yeah, this is looking great. Let's go ahead and move on to the sanding steps. So now we're ready to start on the sanding steps. I have 8 different grits here. It starts at 200, it goes all the way up to 2000. That's kind of about the range I'd recommend. You could stop at 1200 and you'll just spend a teeny bit extra time polishing to make up the difference. But yeah, 200 is probably about as fine as you'd want to start out with. You might even want to start with 100, especially if you're working with a material as resilient as ceramic. It's not really going to ruin anything. But yeah, I'll go ahead and start with the 200, work my way up, and then we'll bust out the Astrotech polish. I've got that right here. I'm just going to use the all-in-one this time. You can use all 3 steps and it will give you a better result, but I like to show off the fact that this all-in-one polish is capable of giving you good results all on its own. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna use some water and I'll just wet sand all the way through my grits. All right, this ring is looking so good. The last step is going to be to polish. So I'll go ahead and get my Astrotech all-in-one. Got a little polishing tissue here. Squirted a little bit out there. That's way more than I need. But you can't have too much, so it's not like it's gonna make an issue. I'll go ahead and just keep going on this. A good sign that the polish is working is you'll see it getting darker. So let me go ahead and polish with another section on it. We should be able to see kind of like that dark, sooty look. That means that the polish is doing its job. It's removing teeny little microscopic particles and smoothing out the surface. All right, I think that should be good. Wow, okay, I don't want to blow the surprise. I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna take it off, go wash it off, and then let's look at the grand reveal. All right, here we are all finished up. Love the clean look this ring has, just that triple white. Looks great, and then that opal. That really nice subtle flash of color that gives off. Always love using opal in almost any ring. Really can't go wrong with it. Anyways guys, that's gonna be it for this month. If you have any questions, join our Facebook group, ask away in there. We're super active over there. I like going through and reading all the comments, replying to as much of what I can. And then we've got so many awesome members there that are willing to discuss with you guys, go back and forth. It's just a really cool, nice community. So yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next month.